afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time of the day it is. You're checking in with Nikki behind the desk. Um, gonna start today with today's episode is on hotel etiquette. Um, End all be all, everyone needs to do their own research, needs to find out everything absolutely necessary when it comes to checking into your hotel. All the policies, all of the rates, all of the different amenities, so that when you come in, you're not staring at myself or a desk agent with an attitude because of quote unquote hidden fees that you did not know about, but were clearly stated to you previously. I got a video from this guy named Nick. He's another front desk agent. I don't even know which hotel brand he works for, but it's like it's our day to day. This is a easy example of why a lot of times you get weird looks from people at the front desk because you didn't do your due diligence and you showed up to us at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Morning. How can I help you?
I know it's a little early, but we're here to check in.
Yeah, it's definitely very early to check in.
Well, we know that check-in's not till 3, but our flight landed at 7 a.m. We just figured you probably already have a room ready for us.
Yeah, so unfortunately that's not the case. We were completely sold out last night, and with checkout not being until 11, most of our guests haven't even left yet.
Well, there's probably at least one empty room, right?
No, there's not actually. Well, yes, there is an empty room, but it's not clean or ready for you to be using it.
Don't hotels have rooms on standby in case things like this happen?
While we do have rooms on standby in case of an emergency, this is not an emergency. Check-in is at 3.
Well, what am I supposed to do for 7 hours?
I don't know, ma'am. Well, there's, feel free to hang out in the lobby. There's a lot of great shops and restaurants around. Feel free to leave your luggage here if you'd like.
No, I don't want to leave my luggage here. I want a room.
You have made that very clear. However, there are no rooms ready for you.
Well, this is ridiculous. Did I not book a hotel room from the 8th to the 12th?
Yes, you did in fact book a hotel room for those dates. However, like you said, check-in's not until 3.
Well, if I'm paying for the room, I should be able to check in whenever I want.
Unfortunately, that is not how hotels work. We have to have time to let those guests leave, get our housekeepers in there, clean the room, inspect the room, and then check you in.
But I'm a diamond member. I can check in whenever I want.
That is not how that works.
Well, did I at least get my room upgrade?
Unfortunately, you did not because it looks like you booked through a third party, so there was no way for us to know that you had a status with us.
But that doesn't mean I'm not a diamond member. I booked third party because it was cheaper.
Right, and because you booked third party, you forfeit the benefits of your elite status.
So how are you going to compensate me for this?
I will not be compensating you for this because apparently you don't know how hotels work.
Every other hotel I've stayed at has let me check in this early. What's your problem?
No, bitch. What's your problem? You literally know what time check-in is, and you showed up 7 hours early? What the fuck?
That's what he said in the end. Like, that's what I want to say every single time. So, like with the early check-ins, standard check-in time at most hotels is 3 p.m., sometimes 4 p.m. That is your duty to find out what time you're supposed to check in. Your wedding is at 3 o'clock. I'm so sorry that the bride hates you so much that she did not schedule you to come in the day before or didn't tell y'all, hey, you know what? Check-in time is at 3 p.m. Y'all might want to book for Friday evening so that you can get dressed and ready prior to the wedding, opposed to trying to cuss out the front desk staff because you can't get into a room as fast as you want to, because showing up at 7 o'clock is a thing that people do all the time. Early check-ins, most of the time, they don't cost you if we have a room available. Like he said, if we're sold out, there's nothing that we can do. We can't force anybody to leave out of their room. We can't make anyone check out any earlier. 11 o'clock checkout is standard, but then you also have the people who want to do a late checkout. So you're trying to do an early check-in at 7 a.m. They're trying to do a late checkout at 3 p.m. How are we supposed to get the room clean? How does that allot enough time for people to be able to do their job, take a break, and then also work on the next room? It doesn't. So like there was a meme floating around that people have been tagging me in for years about late checkouts. Like late checkout time should be 2 p.m., 3 p.m. If checkout time is at 2 p.m., if checkout time is at 3 p.m., how does that allot time for the rooms to be clean? On top of that, with the housekeeping staff, how are they able to do their job throughout the day? So most housekeeping staff come in 8, 9 o'clock. The housekeeping supervisor and the executives may start at 6, 7 a.m. And that's to set up the boards for the day. The property that I'm currently at is 243 rooms. That is just the amount of rooms. That does not include the different suites, the different larger rooms, the deluxe rooms, the common areas, restrooms, any banquets that may need to be done, any office cleaning that has to be done. All of that is what a housekeeper does throughout the day. So it's not just them cleaning rooms. So they're allotting time to clean rooms, clean all the common areas, do laundry. Because if we're sold out the night before, that's 243 rooms that have to be stripped from the bathroom to the bedroom, taken downstairs. There's a chute, of course, but taken downstairs and clean. Yes, there are other there's other linen throughout the building, but just think about it, that's what they have to do throughout the day. So that whole late checkout thing is possible, but more often than not, it's not the greatest of idea on a busy Friday or Saturday. On a Tuesday, Wednesday, more than likely, you can come up to the desk. Hey, it's 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. My flight just landed. Do you have any rooms available? I'm going to tell you one or two things. I do have your room available, or I have another room comparable or a downgrade. It's up to you, whichever one you want to choose. If you don't care, if you're not there for a special event, a bed is a bed. Just take the bed. Just be happy with it. Just be done with the bed. Then late checkout. You don't have to pay for late checkout most of the time. It's just asking, and ask for the late checkout when you first get to the hotel. When you check in on Thursday, you check out on Sunday, say, hey, you know what? I want late checkout. What time do you need? If it's not a super busy day, go for 1 o'clock. On the Sunday at 1 o'clock is cool, because more than likely we're not going to have 1,000,001 people checking in. Now that 2, 3 o'clock, that's a whole nother story, because after 2 o'clock, most hotels are going to charge you for a late checkout fee. Does not matter your status. Look in your app of whomever, whatever, Marriott, IHG, Hilton, and it will tell you exactly what it is. And there's a little asterisk right there that says, if available. Late checkout, if available. That means if we have it, we can give it. And the verbiage that we will provide with you, late checkout is not available. Late checkout is available. What time would you need? And then from there, you can get your late checkout. It's not the end of the world. It's just a way of doing things and a way of asking. People come into hotels and they treat not just the front desk staff, but the valet and housekeepers like servants. Like, yes, you are paying for a room, and depending on the weekend, that room may be $400 or $500. Who knows what the event is for? But treat them the same way that you would want to be treated. The same way that you want respect in your position, or whatever your career field may be. Give that to the front desk agent. Give that to the housekeeper. Give that to the person in the bar, the person in valet. So with late checkouts, just ask for it. If it's available, we can give it to you. Another thing in the etiquette of staying at a hotel is the way that you're dressed in the building. Coming down to the breakfast area wearing your booty shorts and your bra. Granted, this may be how you dress at home when you're going to breakfast. Don't nobody want ass with their grits in the morning. Not everybody wants ass with their grits. Everybody don't want feet with their bacon. So put some shoes on. Put some shoes on. Don't come down in your socks. You can put a robe on. That's perfectly fine. Put a robe on, throw your shoes on, throw your flip-flops, whatever the case may be, head on to breakfast. It's just carry yourself. Don't really roll out of bed. I know you did just roll out of bed to come downstairs for breakfast before it closed, but don't just roll out of bed. And then verify what type of breakfast is available. Most people do not do their research when it comes to the hotel that they're staying at. So even working in a hotel, after I've booked my reservation, or even before I've booked my reservation, I am going to check their website. What is the parking situation? Do you have a pool if that's something that I'm interested in? Do you have an on-site restaurant? Does my status get me any types of perks at that restaurant? Do you have a patio? Do you have balconies? Do you have a spa? Is there any shopping in the near area? Anytime, like, I'll stay at the Palmer House in downtown Chicago. It's one of my favorite hotels. And they have a few different restaurants. There's a Crocs store connected directly onto the building. With your upgrade, you can get to the executive lounge, which has a separate elevator away from everything else. And it's catered to you. But I did my research, so I knew what I was getting into. I knew what my experience was going to be. So do your research, ask all the questions, and it doesn't hurt to look on the website and then call. It doesn't hurt to ask the front desk agent, hey, do you have a few minutes? I got a couple of questions about the property, different things in the area. Learn the area that you're going to, like, even if you're not staying there for a long period of time, because being from Milwaukee and people asking me, well, is it safe to walk downtown? Is it safe to go over here, go over there? Why are you staying in the city that you feel is unsafe? Why are you coming to somewhere that you're like, I'm a little skeptical about being here? Why are you here? Like, it's that simple. Like, if you're afraid to be in this area, don't come. Just don't say. It's that simple. Like, that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves of when people come to the desk and ask, is it safe to walk down to the market? Is it safe to go down to the museum? Nah, nope. One day I really want to just say, nah. You might get mugged. You might get shot. You just never know. So I wouldn't venture out after night. But I'm not going to. Noise violations with sport teams and large family groups. Control your kids. Like, it's one thing. I have a tiny human myself, but don't allow your tiny human to be running up and down the halls, to be talking to people crazy, to be doing crazy stuff, like jumping off the beds, jumping off countertops. Like, don't do it. If you have tiny humans, ask to be on the lowest floor possible so that you're not above somebody's head disturbing them. I think that is one thing that lately a lot of parents have done, whereas in the past it wasn't a thing. They're like, I don't really care. These are my kids. I'm paying to stay here. But it's an inconvenience to somebody else because you may be here for leisure, but they're here for business. I have a guy who stays with us like 6 months out of the year. So he's not there to party. He's not there to hang out. He's there to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work and come back in the evening. So if you bringing your brat in at 10 p.m. jumping around, that's pissing him off. And then he's calling down to the desk. And then we're having to come up there and say something to you about your kids. And then it's a problem. And then you want to give us a bad review. And it's like, just be a parent. I'm gonna say the same thing to you in a hotel that I would in a Target. Control your kid. Tell them to sit down somewhere. Make sure, especially like the different time frames, like learning the times of like the restaurants, bar. If that property has a pool, find that out. The fitness Fitness center is another big one, but just learn the times of everything so that you're not coming down and being pissed off with us because you slept through breakfast. Or valet is 24 hours, so that really don't count. But you're trying to text for your car or call down to the valet office for your car and it's backed up. Well, it's checkout time. You waited until checkout time when now everyone's leaving and it's backed up. There's really nothing that can be done. You just have to wait. Just be patient. Fitness center stuff though, stop letting y'all underage kids play in a fitness center. I worked at a property before where this little boy lost his two front teeth because he was playing on the treadmill. And the mom tried to pursue legal action against the property because him and his brother were in the room, well, in the fitness center by themselves. Thankfully, there was a huge signpost that said under the age of 14 must be accompanied by an adult. The boy was 12 years old. So there was no liability against us at all because why were your kids in there in the first place? Most hotels have policies like underage children can't be in the hotel, can't be moving about the hotel without a parent or guardian or someone over the age of 18. Even still, that over the age of 18-year-old, like that 18-year-old watching 4 and 5 kids in a room by themselves, that's not ideal. Watch your kids. Be respectful of the fact that there are other people who are coming to stay and who they may just be wanting to get away. They may just want a night to themselves because I love a good staycation. But pay attention to your kids. Follow all the rules. Respect quiet hours. A lot of hotels now do have quiet hours posts. It's usually from 10 p.m. to 8, 9 a.m. And from there, you just keep it down. Act like you would when you at home and trying to go to bed yourself. With the different wedding parties and stuff, it goes into the finding out all of the rules. So it's not really a rule, but hotel blocks are not set up to be one area of the hotel. A hotel block is literally a contracted amount of rooms that the wedding party, the family reunion, your bike club, your company has set up. That does not mean that there is an area of the hotel that has signs and ropes post around that says this is only for Harley. These are only for HP guests. Like, that's not how that works. Like, if you want to have a room near somebody else, y'all need to check in together. Y'all need to check in together, or y'all need to pay that little extra fee because most locations do charge a little bit extra for a connecting room charge. If you want to be next, you want to have that adjoining room with your friend, your cousins, your butt buddy, whoever, get the pay for the connecting room charge. Pay for it. I think it's like maybe $10, $15 depending on the time of year, but it's worth it. Just pay for it. But don't come into the hotel pissed off because your mom checked in the night before and your mom checked in Friday, you're checking in Saturday, but y'all wanted y'all rooms right next door to each other and you're in a block. So why can't you be in the block? You are in the block. You got that discounted rate of whatever it may be compared to the $299 rate that we have for standard guests. So you're in the block. You're definitely in the block. It's just you're not next to each other anymore. Call the night before. Call early that morning like, hey, my mom is in room 216. Is there a room next to her or across the hall from her that I can be in? Is there a way for you to pre-assign that? The morning of, that's the best question to ask. The day before, I will say never ask the day before or weeks in advance to pre-assign a room just because anything can happen to that room. We had a room the other day, the HVAC was sweating in the room and the carpet was wet. So we had to put the room out of order so the carpet could be cleaned, and then cleaned, dried, and then the whole room cleaned all over again. So if someone pre-selected that room 2 weeks in advance and they're supposed to check in on Friday and the room was put out of order Thursday and it's not coming back in until Saturday, they're probably going to be a little bit annoyed. So I will always tell people, don't ask for a specific room number so far in advance. If you have a specific room number, if you like to be in room 626, 227, 304, call that morning and say, hey, I stayed in room 304 a couple of weeks ago. I like the view. It's real quiet. Can you assign me to that room? We're going to tell you one or two things. Yes, absolutely. That room is available. I'll go ahead and pre-assign you. There's a guest currently in it, but as soon as they checked out, we can get you assigned to that room and then you'll be all good to go. Please don't call back 1,000,001 times asking when that room is going to be available. Guaranteed check-in time is at 3 p.m. That is when you are absolutely supposed to be able to check into your room. Life happens, things happen, late checkouts happen because there's going to be that person that's like, oh, I'm going to get a late checkout no matter what. I'm just not going to leave out my room. We're going to charge you for a late checkout fee. And then you're still going to have to leave. But then now a housekeeper has to stay behind to get that room cleaned. And it's a hassle. Be kind to your everyone. Be kind to the front desk agents. Be kind to the valet drivers. So when you come into a hotel, don't throw your ID down. Give me your card. Give it to me in hand. When I stick my hand out, don't sit it on the table in front of me. Give it to me in my hand, and I'm going to present it back to you in your hand. When I'm asking for your ID, please hand it over to me. Please give it to me in my hand. That is a microaggression that I'm not sure, and it's everyone. I have experienced so many different people do it, and it is a microaggression that I don't understand. Because if I slam your cash down on the counter, if I slam your money down on the counter the way you just slammed your ID or your credit card, you'd be annoyed with me. So don't do it. Just be kind, be courteous. And being nice will get you some of everything. Asking for your upgrades. Like if I'm a gold member, I stayed somewhere and I just asked. She's like, oh, well, I got you booked in a room with a single queen bed. I'm like, do you have any upgrades available? Only here for the night. Well, did you want a room with 2 beds? Like, no, just 1 bed is fine. She upgraded me to a 2-room suite. Did I need it? Nope. But did I enjoy it? I sure did. Because I sat in one area, ate my dinner and stuff, kicked my feet up, watched TV, and then I slept in my room. I'm not a big TV sleeper, so it was quiet. I can watch TV in one area and sleep in another area. You'll always get surveys. Well, not always, but a lot of the times you'll get a survey after your stay. And that's just, be truthful. Name drop whomever. If, oh, Nikki was amazing. She gave me 1,000,001 cookies during my stay. She was kind. Be courteous to the wait staff in the restaurants. Ask all the questions that you need, but still be kind. Treat hotel staff and hotel employees like you would want to be treated yourself. Yes, this is our job. Yes, this is what we do on a day-to-day basis. But at the same time, you don't have to be mean. There was a part in the video that he was talking about like emergency rooms. People believe that is a thing, that checkout time. Checkout time is at 11 a.m. Check-in time isn't until 3 p.m. We do not have extra rooms. There's not a random room tucked off somewhere that is put out of order or that's not on the books that somebody can use. It's not a thing. It is not real life. Like that doesn't happen. If the hotel is sold out, the hotel is sold out. That's just that. There's no hidden room. There's nothing around. Third parties, when you book with a third party and you don't utilize your so booking direct, let me dial back on that. Booking directly with the hotel, that will allow you to receive any type of discounts, any type of points or credits that you're supposed to receive with whatever program that is. If you're like IHG, Marriott, Hilton, Choice, they all have their own loyalty program. Booking through booking.com, Priceline, Expedia, hotels.com, that really does not give you the deal that you think that you're getting. You go onto that website and it shows you, oh, this rate is only $99 plus tax per night, until you tack on everything else that they're going to charge you for, because we earn commission off of that. But you're not going to see that. So you've prepaid for this reservation. You can't make any modifications or you can't make any changes. You can't come in and add your IHG rewards to it, because that's pretty much a violation of the program. It defeats the purpose of you signing up for the program, but then turning around and booking through Expedia.com. It don't work like that. You work for Marriott, but you're booking with your Amex points. Cool, but you're not going to get your Marriott rewards. You can't double dip. And for whatever reason, people swear that you can. You can't do it. It's not possible. We will honor it. Like, we'll put your discount, we'll put your rewards number on there, but you're not going to earn anything. Like, if you get discounted at the restaurant, or you earn, so with like Hilton, it's a food and beverage credit. You get a $30 food and beverage credit for the first 2 guests in your room. You don't get that anymore. And then you're going to moan and complain with me about the fact that you can't get it. But at the same time, why should you? Why? You're not booking with Hilton. You defeated the whole purpose of being a part of the rewards program. Make sure that when you book your reservation, find out about all your fees, your incidentals, or AKA your deposit. I ask. Because there's a location in Milwaukee. The deposit is $150 for the night. And that's just on a standard day. That's not even just because that it's, oh, they're hiking it up because you're local. No, that's their standard deposit. I know a location that's $75. I know a location that does 10% of whatever the standard rate is. So if you're on a discounted rate, 10% off of $60. You're barely going to see it. Use a credit card with that deposit also. So like if you prepay for your reservation, all you're putting it down for is your deposit. Use a credit card for the deposit, because your debit card is going to take 7 to 10 business days before you're going to get it back. Whereas with your credit card, well, depending on who you bank through, because I've seen people who have used like Cash App or Chime, and as soon as they check out, the money's right back on their card. But it's a guarantee that it's at least 7 to 10 business days for any debit card that you use. Credit card, that's a whole nother story. With your check-in times, be kind. With your checkout times, don't be annoying. And don't be an asshole about it. Like, yes, the wedding ran over and you're hungover and the bride threw up all over everything. Call early and ask. Or like I said before, just do it upon your arrival. Just ask. Just ask the front desk. We're kind enough to say yes. Most of the time we'll say yes. Other times it's going to be a hell no. Verify. So like one property I worked at, we had a little sheet of hotel rules. If you're one of those parents like me, just ask like, hey, do you have a sheet for hotel rules? Like, is there somewhere that I could read it? It's gonna give you the check-in time, the checkout time, how many keys you can have as far as parking. Go into your reservation knowing everything that you need to know. Like, yeah, we're here to work and we're here to ask and answer questions for you, but at the same time, like, don't come into a hotel just being, oh, what the hell I'm supposed to do. This is what you're here for. You're supposed to answer all my questions. You're supposed to tell me everything that I need to know. And oh, I didn't know that, so why do I have to pay it? It's not my job for you to do that portion of your reservation. It's not my job to say, oh, yeah, there's a $75 deposit that you have to put down every single night of your stay. It is refundable as long as you're not charging anything to the room. That is not a security deposit. It's if you're charging stuff to your room. Most hotels have a snack shop. A lot of hotels have restaurants. A lot of hotels, especially in downtown areas, have parking. So that parking charge is going to come off of that deposit. If your kids is buying up a bunch of snacks from the snack shop and you say, oh, just put it on the room, that's where it's coming from. Like, that deposit amount is where you're able to add things to your room. And don't argue with the front desk about the fact that you didn't know that you had to pay the deposit, because I can't check you in. I'm not risking my job because you don't have $65 extra. Please travel appropriately. Like, if you don't have the funds to travel, it's okay. Just don't travel. Don't make it hard. Don't make it hard on people. It's the truth. Don't make it hard on people if you don't have the funds to do it. Like, stay home. Everything ain't for everybody, and that's fine. Everything ain't for everybody, and every hotel brand isn't for everybody. Like, I'm gonna tell you, there's certain Hilton properties that I would never stay at. There's certain Marriott properties. Why? Because they high as hell. Like, I'm not staying at a location because of the name. I'm staying there. Oh, y'all got free breakfast? Bet. Y'all got a pool? Bet. Jacuzzi? Bet. No parking charges? Absolutely. Oh, your checkout time is at noon, because most places you got to check out at 11. What? I'm staying there. And then I'm still going to ask when I check in, and I'm going to slide you a nice little tip. Like, oh, much appreciated. You give me a 1 p.m. checkout? Thank you. Oh, you going to give me a 2:30 and you not going to charge me? I'm going to give you a bigger tip. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to leave you a good review. So when your boss sees it, like, oh, okay. They don't know that you got tipped for it. They don't know what you got for it. But at the same time, you're doing a little bit extra. Be kind to people. You come in and I tell people all the time, a little bit of kindness in a hotel will go a long way. I'll give you whatever upgrade you want. You can have everything. Oh, you didn't know that you had to pay for breakfast? Here are a couple breakfast vouchers. Oh, it's your honeymoon? Let me give you some breakfast. Let me give y'all some drink vouchers. Here's a complimentary appetizer for you. I'm going to give you an upgrade. And it's not costing me anything. We don't have to charge for upgrades. We will, but you don't have to charge for an upgrade. You can be kind and you can give somebody an upgrade, because in turn, I'm going to get a good review, and that's just going to look good for me. It just makes it easier. Just be nice. Be kind. It doesn't take too much to get what you want. And like my buddy Nick said at the end of the video, we kind of want to cuss y'all out sometimes with some of these outrageous questions and requests, and you need to get into the room early because your wedding is at 3. I really don't. I care, but I don't care that your wedding is at 3 o'clock. I understand, but at the same time, that has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. I understand that your sister is getting married at 3:30, but you probably should have got dressed before you came. You probably should have prepared yourself to just leave your luggage up in the car, park the car, and then go straight to the venue. Book the night before. You got a very important event. book the night before, pay that little extra. If you're in a block, sometimes we're able to extend it. It's like, hey, I know the block rate isn't available for Thursday. Is it cool if I check in the day before? Absolutely. It's not hurting anything. We still getting paid for it. That's just more revenue for that day. Just ask the questions. But the biggest takeaway is just be kind to hotel staff. Be kind to your housekeeper. Do not call them maids. Do not call a housekeeper maid. Like, do not call them a maid. That is horrible. Do not call a housekeeper a maid or bellboy. Like, that's not a thing. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. Like, don't call somebody a bellboy, the valet driver, and don't say girl. Do not. I think that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves, especially with older people. You come to a hotel and you say, girl, can you get this for me? Excuse me? Whom? I have a name tag for a reason. Please address me by my name. There was even an occasion to where I had a very disgruntled guest. She was talking real crazy to me. She wasn't even a guest. She was some random person off the street that was trying to use the phone because she was trying to book a room, but she was broke. It's like, I need to speak with the manager. And I showed her my name tag. You can't be the manager. I went in the drawer, pulled out my badge that go up on the wall, took it out, slammed it up on the wall. Like, here, can you see it a little bit better? Oh, that's what kind of time you're on. Mm-hmm. Sure am. Absolutely. Sure am. One of these days, one of these days, it's gonna be that moment. I'm gonna be able to pull out my phone. I hope not, though. I don't wish that for myself. I really don't wish that for anybody else because it gets ugly. I've been to court 3 different times. And I've never even got a chance to put my hands on anybody. I've never had my viral moment. That's crazy. I'm constantly going to court for somebody else's mistakes. I've never had the opportunity to put my hands on anyone. I feel like next show we'll go into some more difficult stuff. I'm gonna bring in because we're getting next week. Next week we are getting ready for the RNC. So I will have some coworkers and some other agents from other properties that I would like to come and sit with me and discuss their woes and problems, because we have people that have already been checking in over the course of the last couple of days for the next 2 weeks. And needless to say, be kind to anyone who works in the downtown area because we are suffering and we are going through it right now. But until next time,
Bye-bye.
ta-ta for now.